Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
The day after the election, votes are still being counted across several battleground states. As the race tightens, the president threatens legal action.
Wisconsin keeps its reputation as a battleground state. Rock County voters weigh in on what led to their decisions when filling out their ballots.
And as the coronavirus pandemic continues, bills stack up for business owners in every industry. But some say state aid helped them dig out of a financial hole. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. The race for the White House is still too close to call. That surge of early and mail-in voting led to expected delays counting all the votes.
Neither President Trump nor former Vice President Joe Biden have secured the 270 electoral votes to win the presidency. Andrew Dimbert is in Washington tracking the latest developments. Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters.
It's a race to the finish line, and the margin still razor thin in the states that could tip the scales in the 2020 election. As predicted for months, counting the record-shattering number of mail-in and absentee votes in battleground states is taking time, as anxious Americans wait to see who wins the White House. Although the race is still too close to project, last night both President Trump and Joe Biden securing several all-important wins.
We are now projecting that Donald Trump will win the state of Ohio. We have another state to project, and it is the state of Virginia. It is going to Joe Biden. It
was a roller coaster election night for both candidates, seeing leads evaporate, change, and tighten in some crucial states. Biden addressing the nation this evening, not declaring victory, but saying he's confident he will win once the votes are counted.
We, the people, will not be silenced. We, the people, will not be bullied. We, the people, will not surrender. My friends, I'm confident will emerge victorious.
President Trump, however, again casting doubt on the election's integrity without evidence, demanding that no more votes be counted.
We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list, okay?
Legal experts say the president can't stop the vote counting, and state officials are promising to count every valid vote.
Our election clerks and our election workers have been working throughout the night to tabulate every vote and ensure that every vote is counted.
Every legal vote will count.
With all precincts reporting in Wisconsin and Joe Biden holding just a half-point lead, ABC News is characterizing Biden as the apparent winner in the state, Trump's team already promising a recount. Biden is also holding on to much of the blue wall states, but there could be cracks. Trump is leading in Pennsylvania, but officials say there are millions more ballots to be tallied, and the U.S. Supreme Court ruled they have through Friday to count them.
That was Andrew Dimbert reporting. Illinois voters did not pass one of the most controversial questions on the ballot. The Democrat-backed fair tax pushed for a graduated income tax. However, after election night, the state will continue to run under a flat tax where every income level is taxed at the same rate. Governor J.B. Pritzker, with the fair tax defeat, says there will be cuts and they will be painful.
If you think cutting government alone is the solution, remember this. If you set aside federally protected programs, court-ordered obligations, and our bond and pension debt, we would have to reduce discretionary spending in our state by approximately 15%.
Governor Pritzker said he has no plans to order a recount. Like we mentioned, it appears Biden wins Wisconsin, but by only a margin of about 20,000 votes.
Ari Bruckman went over the state line to talk with voters to get their perspective on flipping the state from 2016's results.
It's time for change, somebody new thoughts.
Wisconsin is known as a battleground state, and this election is no different. Wisconsin's electoral votes helped push President Trump's victory in 2016. Some voters in Rock County used their choice to vote for a change.
I felt that it was really important to address the issues of the pandemic so that our state can move forward in a better way together. I felt that the economy and also health care, I have adult children and I'd love someday to be able to see my family have health care that they can afford.
Rock County went blue 4 years ago, and preliminary numbers have them once again leaning Democrat. But some are adamant as to why President Trump should be reelected.
I believe that Trump will allow us to have our liberties and our freedoms, and I think that's the most valuable thing that we can have.
I think President Trump has done a great job. He has done everything that he said he was going to do.
In Beloit, for your home team, I'm Ari Bruckman.
Rockford police say the 20-year-old man shot near Concord Commons over the weekend has died. Officers responded to an apartment on Cameron Avenue late Saturday night. Investigators found 2 people shot. One victim is expected to be okay. Investigators say the other passed away at the hospital Monday. They haven't released his identity. If you know anything about the shooting, contact police or leave an anonymous Crime Stoppers tip. Just one day after his re-election, Winnebago County Coroner Bill Hintz appeared in court for forgery charges. He was arraigned this morning after being indicted last week. He pleaded not guilty. Hintz has been charged with 37 counts of forgery, official misconduct, theft, and conspiracy. His wife, Michelle, faces similar charges. The couple's accused of misusing a county credit card. Hintz ran uncontested. He picked up more than 75,000 votes. The couple is due back in court January 20th.
The coronavirus positivity rate in our region of Illinois continues to climb. It's currently at 15.7%. Health officials say Boone County's reached a new high at just over 20%. Carroll County is not far behind. Ogle and Winnebago counties are both at nearly 16%. The lowest positivity rate in the region currently can be found in DeKalb County at just over 11%. State Line hospitals say the increase in new cases has created a critical point for healthcare systems. The Winnebago County Health Department says the addition of 330 new cases yesterday is cause for concern. Hospitals are beginning to feel strained with limited beds and decreasing qualified staff. Health officials say they have not reached capacity, but it could happen if cases continue to climb. Administrators say the community must work together by social distancing, wearing masks, and receiving a flu shot.
For the better part of the year, the coronavirus pandemic's thrown a curveball at nearly every industry. As business dwindles, bills continue to pile up, but assistance is available for owners around Illinois. Michelle Rave spoke with a salon owner who says a state grant helped keep her American dream alive.
Businesses across Illinois have been heavily impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Bars and restaurants have drawn the most attention, but businesses like hair salons and museums have been hit hard too. First-time salon owner Michelle Petit opened her business back in January. When she was forced to close for several months due to the pandemic, the financial toll was significant. However, a state-issued business interruption grant helped her dig out.
The grant definitely helped because, like I said, it's like the bills is like kind of like all on my shoulders. And then we just opened, so we hadn't even been open that long. And then now, you know, the pandemic hit. So it's like, you know, in order to stay afloat, it was like, it just kind of like helped kick everything in and keep it going so that we didn't have to stay closed.
Coming up at 6, we'll hear from Rockford's Community and Economic Development Director, who says business owners shouldn't wait to seek out these grant opportunities. Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Michelle Rave.
State Line workers pitch in to make sure those in need get a warm Thanksgiving meal.
Employees from the Byron Generating Station donated $10,000 to the Rockford Rescue Mission. Money was raised during a scheduled refueling outage at the plant. A vote by workers decided what nonprofit would get the donations. The Rescue Mission tells us the money will help pay for this year's Thanksgiving celebration. They say gifts like these are critical to keep the doors open.
We rely 100% on our corporate partners, on our individual donors, the businesses in the community. All of those funds help support this mission here that makes it possible for our community members to receive the help that they need.
The Rescue Mission plans to feed more than 300 guests during the Thanksgiving meal.
The show must go on for young performers at Hononegah High School. Students are set to host a virtual performance of Alice in Wonderland this weekend. Performances will begin at 7 Friday and Saturday nights. The Sunday matinee show starts at 2 p.m. Teachers say the performance is about more than the classic fairy tale. It also highlights students' ability to overcome many obstacles in their way this year. Find the link to the play on our website, mystateline.com.
It's nice that they still have some creative outlet, even though they can't get together and rehearse like we used to. Hopefully you had a chance to enjoy the near record warmth today.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. When we come back, Candice lets us know how long the warm-up will stick around. It's coming up in your First Warn weather forecast.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
It's nice to see all that sunshine, especially during a month that can typically be a little bit more cloudy and cold for us. A live look with our Mercy House SkyTrack camera now. Out over Rochelle, looking off to the northwest. While we've had plenty of sunshine out there today, starting to notice some of that cloud cover increasing, and our skies will actually turn mostly cloudy here as we go through the remainder of this evening and then into the night tonight. But with the sunshine and that southwesterly wind, our temperatures today made it back into the low 70s. We're now down to 62 degrees in Rochelle, 63 in DeKalb, 64 in Rockford, and 61 our current temperature in Freeport. Our weather watcher Bob here in Rockford this last hour checking in with 66, dew point number of 42. So starting to see a little bit of moisture increase. Otherwise, we've stayed fairly dry, and we're going to stay pretty dry for the next several days. Our weather watcher Sandy north of the Kirkland Fairdale area checking in also 65 degrees and a relative humidity at 22%. So it actually has been a little bit more on the dry side when you talk about more of the relative humidity. Now we're starting to see that cloud cover increase. Reason for that, area of low pressure that was down over the southwest yesterday. This is now working through the central plains. With that moisture starting to lift northeast, we've got the cloud cover. But remember, we're still pretty dry. So any chance for rain with this is pretty much nil here as we go through the rest of this evening. But you can actually see the moisture increasing. Love to show our water vapor imagery because this is like a snapshot of what's going on in the middle part of the atmosphere. You can really pick out where we've got moisture, where we've got dry air. Kind of still dealing with some dry air overhead and over the southeast, but you can see as this dip in the jet stream develops here and pushes into the northern Rockies and into the high plains, we're tugging in that moisture coming in from the southwest. So again, all that's going to do is lead to a little bit more cloud cover. Now the reason why we're not going to see much rainfall with this is because we've got a blocking area of high pressure to our south and southeast. That's really limiting just the amount of moisture that is able to return from the Gulf of Mexico. So we've actually got a lot of dry air overhead. That pattern though will begin to change as that high pressure system eases up a little bit by early next week. We actually get some moisture tugged in from what was Hurricane Zeta. This actually expected to emerge back out into the Caribbean, into the Gulf, and could impact parts of the western coastline here of Florida going into the weekend. But we'll start to see some of that moisture pulled northward early next week, and that will bring back the chance for rainfall, most likely Monday, but definitely by Tuesday. So let's kind of plan things out because our skies, we've got the cloud cover here. Notice we do stay dry. It will start off a little more cloudy tomorrow, but as that system passes to our east and southeast, we'll start to clear things out once again as we head into the afternoon. Starting off with the cloud cover tomorrow will limit just how warm we get. Temperatures will likely stay in the upper 60s, but still well above average for this time of year. So tonight we're down to 48 degrees, increasing cloud cover. Winds will stay light from the southwest. Temperature tomorrow right around that 69 degree mark. Mostly clouded to start us off with, decreasing cloud cover for the afternoon, and winds too. Those will stay generally light. We bump it back into the low 70s for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just a slight chance for rain heading into Sunday afternoon, but we see that cold front come in, indicated by the drop in the temperatures. Could even hear a couple rumbles of thunder, guys, as we head into Tuesday, and then back into the 40s by next week.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
The Packers-49ers game for tomorrow night is still on for now, but there's another threat of COVID-19 woven into this matchup. You already know about the Packers placing 3 players on the COVID-19 list this week. Well, now the 49ers are dealing with a case. Receiver Kendrick Bourne has reportedly tested positive, and because of that, the 49ers shut down their facility today as a precautionary measure. They're doing contact tracing to see what other players might also have to go into quarantine. They continue to prepare for tomorrow's game virtually today. So for now, the game is still on. The kickoff is set for 7:20. You can see it on Fox 39 tomorrow. And the Bears have given up on veteran receiver Ted Ginn Jr. They have released him. He had only 3 receptions for 40 yards. He also failed miserably as a punt returner. He was healthy and active last week. Ginn was one of Ryan Pace's free agent signings this offseason. So we know Ginn is a bust, but let's look at Ryan Pace's other free agent signings this year. Jimmy Graham, well, he's made a couple big touchdown catches, but otherwise hasn't contributed much. Nick Foles, he was great in that comeback win in Atlanta, but otherwise he's been disappointing. Jermaine Ifedi, he's been pretty solid on the line. So is Tayshaun Gibson at safety. And Barkevius Mingo, he's been better than expected as a backup linebacker. But overall, that's not an impressive list. Well, the football season is opening tonight for NIU in DeKalb. The Huskies are hosting Buffalo in a MAC crossover game. Buffalo was picked to win the MAC East by the media and picked second in the East by the coaches. NIU was picked finished dead last in the West by both the media and the coaches. That's primarily because the Huskies have a very young team. They have 57 newcomers and 47 of them are true freshmen. 5 true freshmen are starting tonight, but Coach Hammock says they're not typical freshmen.
I bet if we walked our guys, on the field and you were standing there, you wouldn't be able to tell which guys are freshmen and which guys are not.
Our first Warren Interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and more. Just a little more cloud cover tonight, but we stay rain-free at least through the end of the weekend.
All right. Thanks, Candice.
And thank you for spending a little time with us. Stay safe.